Saludos everybody, welcome back to Decent Shirt, where we play cards while we wear decent shirts. And I am back. It's been a while, I'm not gonna get into details, you guys know how it is, life. But that's not what is important. What is important is the fact that Dan just dropped probably the biggest news out of the whole month as for Elestrals. And it's only day one. What am I talking about? Well, of course, I'm talking about Firestorm. That is the newest set for Elestrals. We only got Moonrise like a month ago, and now we are already revealing Firestorm. And my god, is that a great name for a set. So, let's get on to the video. Welcome back, guys, and oh boy, did we wake up to what an announcement. Alright, that was insane. If you haven't found out already, well, Dan, the creator of Elestrals, just astonished everybody by dropping the newest set of Elestrals, the set named Firestorm, up for pre-orders. And he didn't just show us the set. He showed us some of the highlight cards of this set. And they look strong. They look really strong. I'm not going to mince words here. I'm excited to play with each of these cards that they just announced. So, I think that the first thing that we have to mention is the fact that Firestorm is going to bring us new divine runes. What? Who saw that coming? I thought we would just get the 6 that we had. They told us that the set was complete, that we finally had all the elements, but no. We actually have more gods. And for fire, we just got a new divine god that, I don't know. I love Hephaestus. I love all the arts of Hephaestus. I love Hephaestus effect. I love playing artifacts. But Hestia is new fire god. I'm sorry. This is just how it goes. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. And in this case, Hestia all the way. If you don't know what it does, then let me bring it up for a sec. Okay, so let's start with Hestia, the first new divine rune that was revealed. And again, just the fact that they just revealed new divine runes, like, what? Who saw that coming? Like, this just opens so many possibilities for divine runes in general, because if you thought that the only way to play was with the divine runes that were set, and we're not going to have to come up with new elements, we're going to get new gods for each element, and that is insane. And if you were a fan of Hephaestus, I'm sorry, I think the stocks of Hephaestus have never been lower, because now it has even more competition, because Hestia is going to steal all the candy of Hephaestus. Hestia has an insane effect. When you cast it, you get to enchant up to 3, so that's a very standard effect for most divine runes. But what's really crazy is that you can disenchant from Hestia and special cast a 1-cost fire Elestral from your hand with a fire spirit, as long as you have equal amount or less Elestrals on the board than your opponent. And this is really strong for many reasons. One of them is for the fact that, well, first, you are able to special cast, and special cast is really strong in this game. Obviously, I don't need to tell you that. This is the reason why Viserys is really strong. But what makes this really crazy, and I don't think a lot of people are really thinking about it, at least at first glance, is that it says that if you have the same or less same amount of Elestrals, means that if you have 0 Elestrals on your board and your opponent doesn't have any Elestrals either, that means you can use Hestia and you can use this effect. That means that turn 1, if you're going first, Hestia is actually usable. It's not just a comeback card. It's a card that allows you to really propel the strategies, the fire strategies. Now Blazers can actually be a good deck. Blazers Trifernal. If you have any Nexus, like I don't know, Exalt Flare, like you can Nexus and then Ascend if you use Hestia to cast it first, or Kinleo, or many others. Like it's insane how strong this card actually is. Like, it opens up decks that were probably never playable before. Krakatuga now has a way to be special ascended really quickly in the field. You have now Blazers, as I mentioned before. Lavalis now doesn't need its summoning mechanic to be able to cast. You can just cast a Fire Celestial and then ascend directly into it. And now we also have Caperfume that we got in, I think it was in Frostfall. A lot of people haven't played with Caperfume, but Caperfume has a really solid effect. If you don't remember what it does, basically it allows you to expend a Fire Spirit, and if you do, you can special cast a Fire Celestial from your hand. That means that you can go, if you in theory have Hestia and Caperfume and 2 other Fire Celestials, you can go Hestia, Fire Celestial, ascend into Caperfume. Caperfume uses this effect, special cast another Celestial. That is really strong. That is scary. And I think it gets even scarier when you think about that Smoky Stux are going to go up. If you don't have your Smokies, go get them. Get those Reverse Stellars. I only have one. I'm going to have to get more. Because Smoky is now able to be special cast to draw you 2 cards. Imagine using Hestia, getting a body on board, drawing 2 cards, and then being able to ascend. Again, I think there's a lot of possibilities with Hestia. I think it's a really solid card. I'm excited to see what other archetypal Elestrals we're going to get with Hestia, and also the artifact. What that artifact that we inevitably always get for every Divine Rune, what is it going to do? Is it going to allow you to special cast a Fire Spirit Elestral? I don't know. Like, I'm really excited to see what we're going to get with that. But that's not the only Divine Rune that we got. No. We got 2, as if it wasn't, like, not bad, but, you know, as it wasn't enough to get 1 new Divine Rune. No, we get 2 Divine Runes in this set, and that second Divine Rune is Hermes. Fan favorite, I imagine, for many people. I know that a lot of people were kind of sad that Aeolus was, like, the wind god, because a lot of people thought that Hermes was, like, a better, like, more recognizable god. But now we got him. We got Hermes. That's insane. And Hermes' effect is still really strong as well. I think this one is, at first glance, a lot weaker in theory, but when I'm sure that when we see more cards related to Hermes, we're going to see that it's going to be a lot stronger, because we already got 2 Elestrals revealed that work with Hermes, and they seem pretty strong. So let's talk about Hermes. Hermes allows you to get to 4 standard effect for wind spirits under it, but what's really crazy is that it allows you to disenchant 2 wind spirits from it, and then search for any wind Elestral in your deck and send it to the underworld. And that, my friends, is pretty insane. That's Foolish Burial for the game. Obviously, it's archetypal, so it's only going to be locked to wind, but I'm sure that as more cards get revealed, in the same way that we've already been revealed 2 really strong cards for Hermes, we're gonna get more that are going to open the doors for Hermes. Hermes' effect basically tells us that the underworld is finally going to start basically being used as a resource bank. Now, there are certain decks that use it, like Reanimator Strategies uses the underworld as a second place. Frost Celestial decks like Blistrix and also More Frost love to use the underworld as their resource bank, like another deck. But from what I'm getting is that Hermes is going to allow you to have an archetype all around it, and that you're going to have control over what exactly you're going to send. So again, that is really strong, and it's strong depending on what exactly we're going to get around that effect, like what cards are going to work with Hermes effect that are going to enable it to become a strong strategy. But it's the type of strategy that realistically, as we get more cards in the game, it's just going to get stronger and stronger, because sending cards to the underworld is, in many card games, a card effect that has to be very balanced. And if it gets out of control in the same way that Yu-Gi-Oh does, where there's decks all around using their graveyard, their discard pile, their used slot for other strategies, then Elestrals is probably going to follow suit. Realistically, it's going to. And again, from the cards that we have already seen, we definitely see that they're kind of gearing towards that, or at least one of them does. I'm really excited. They did tell us that the plushies are also going to be related to the champions, so that means that the 4 plushies that we saw, which were Carrion, Sluggle, Earth Scout, I think it was, and what was the other one? And Elchek. These are somehow going to be tied to the champions. I'm assuming that we're probably going to get new cards of it, probably title cards, if I had to guess. Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the video so far. I just wanted to give you a quick reminder that if you're enjoying the video, please like, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe so you can keep up all the great content that I'm going to be uploading in this YouTube channel. So let's get back to the video. The Elestrals that were revealed, we got 3 new Elestrals. The first one was Majursa, champion of Hestia. I love it. As Stan said that he was inspired in the gym leader sets in the training card games for Pokemon. I can definitely see that, right? That connection where they're gonna have different Elestrals with the champions title, and that's really cool, honestly. And the art has been kicking it out of the park. But enough about that. What we're really here is because Majursa's effect is insane. Let's talk about it. Majursa's effect is really good. When you cast it, you're able to destroy cards on the field up to the number of Ursas on your field. That means that when you cast Majursa, for whatever reason, you get to pop a card. Cast popping, or like cast destruction, is really strong because it doesn't even give your opponent that much of a time to respond. They have to respond immediately, or you're going to punish them. It's not an ignition effect like we know in Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have to activate it and then no. You cast it and you use this effect. That's really strong. But it's not limited to itself. If you have other Ursas on the field, then that means that Majursa is going to pop more than one card. Imagine getting the value in an Elestral in a 3-drop that can pop more than one card. And you might be thinking, oh, but how are we going to do that? That's not realistic. It's a 3-drop. We're going to send most of the cards. Not really, because we have the Ursa Den. If you don't know what Ursa Den, or you don't remember, it's a card that we got in Frostwall. It's a stadium card that costs a Frost and a Fire Spirit, but it allowed you to enchant it with a spirit every time that you cast it in Ursa while it was in play. Why is this important? Because it has an effect that says that you can disenchant 4 spirits under the stadium, and if you do, you get to special cast any Ursa Elestral from your deck to the field directly. That means that you can cast out Majursa from your deck with Ursa Den. And you might think, okay, but that's a little bit too slow. You're still going to have to wait 2 turns. No. Hear me out. Hestia. Cast Hestia. Use this effect. Cast Earthsmog. Yeah, Ursmog, the Ursa that nobody uses, the little forgotten fire lesson. No, that Elestral. Earthmog allows you to expend one fire spirit to special cast another Ursa from your hand. If I'm not mistaken, it's expend to cast. Yeah, expend to cast. So that means that you get to use Hestia, cast Ursmog, special cast another Elestral. And if you had the stadium that was in play, boom, you got Majorsa. Heck, you don't even need to use Hestia. You can just cast Ursmog and the stadium, and Ursmog casts another bear, and boom, you have your Majorsa in play. And not only are you casting the Majorsa, you're casting a Majorsa popping 3 cards. Because in theory, you have the Ursmog, another bear, and Majorsa. That's popping 3 cards, 3 bodies on board, 3 damage, and 2 more damage for each of the 1-drops. So, for 1 more damage for each of the 1-drops. And this is a starter deck! What? That's insane. This is really strong. And for being a 3-drop, it's kind of on the lower end for the attack. It only has 8 attack. It has 13 defense, so that's pretty respectable. 8 attack is but it's understandable because you're able to cast it out really easily. 8 attack is still very respectable. And if you really, really wanted to play it very safe for whatever reason, you can cast a Majorsa in defense and have it be as a towers that also allows all your Ursa Elestrals to get +1 for each fire enchanting spirit on Hestia. I don't think that effect is going to get that much use, but at the very least, Majorsa and Bears are going to be a contender. I think they're going to be meta. I don't think there's... I think that's going to be a really strong effect. It's going to be very aggro, but it's going to be very hard for you to prepare for it other than perhaps Gorgons on the Majorsa. And even then, they have bodies on the board which you're going to have to out some way, shape, or form. So, in that case, I think Majorsa is going to be really good. I think it's going to be really strong. And we haven't even seen all the other Ursas that they promised us. They said that we're going to get more Ursa support. So, that's really good. Now, let's talk about carry-off. I talked about how Hermes, at first glance, doesn't seem like the strongest or the more versatile of the two. However, we do get 2 Hermes cards, and the first one that we got is Champion of Hermes Carry-Off. It's going to be part of the structure deck, or starter deck. It has 8 attack, 2 defense, so okay stats. I guess the idea is that Carry-Off can sort of neutralize Majorsa. Okay, sure. But what's really cool about this is that if this card is sent to the underworld with the Hermes effect, you're able to target an Elestral and expend equal to the cost. No, not cost. The enchanted spirit. Okay, so it's a little bit worse, but equal to the enchanting spirits on the card. And if you do, you get to destroy it. So it's an earthquake. You make Hermes an earthquake. A little bit more expensive, but at the end of the day, you're making it an earthquake. It's your divine rune is essentially an earthquake. Again, insane. I think that is going to be very strong of an effect. We're seeing that there is a sort of an inclination to destruction effects based on these 2 effects. It seems like we're going to get more popping effects, or maybe this is just the ones that we get, but they're a lot more used to, or like they're more comfortable with us having more destruction effects, and I'm excited for that because it does seem like the decks are going to get a lot faster with these effects. Heck, I expect Hermes to somehow ascend into something with Hermes, because if we're getting effects that are when they're being sent to the underworld, then that probably means that we're going to get something outside of the carry-off. It also has the second effect that is okay. You can shuffle an Elestral in your underworld to your deck. Okay, sure, nothing that big, but it's good if you're able to cast out the carry-off and you send a carry-off with the Hermes, and if you have the first carry-off in the field, you can then return it so you can use this effect more often. I don't know how reliable that effect is going to actually be at the end of the day, because it's still going to be very expensive. You're using 2 from your Hermes, and then you're going to expend whatever you need from the carry-off to destroy an Elestral. So again, not the greatest in terms of energy efficiency, but at the end of the day, still, if you need it, it's part of a toolbox, right? Hermes seems to be more like towards a toolbox. Ursa seems to be more towards a specific strategy, and I'm excited either way. Now, we did get another Hermes card revealed. Let me see where it was. There we go. We got an Exaltair. My bad. Exaltair. Champion of Hermes Exaltair. This card is actually pretty good. It's 3 attack, 1 defense. Nothing to write home about. But you are actually able to get +3 attack on it if you have Hermes enchanted. So if you have Hermes on the field and you cast Exaltair, that's a 6 attack. Hello, Vicers. Spectres, Spectres can nullify it, but the idea that you're able to get 6 attack on a 1-drop, just like that, just because you have your Divine Rune, that's really strong. And to that, we also have another effect that I think is arguably even more exciting. It cannot be destroyed in battle, it cannot be destroyed in battle if it was special casted from your underworld. So if you were to able to special cast Exaltair with Rise from the Ashes, for example, then Exaltair would not be able to be destroyed in battle that turn. Or no, yeah, the turn. Sorry, I'm reading it from the side. But realistically, you wouldn't have this effect if you didn't have another way of special casting from your underworld. Let's be honest here. Rise from the Ashes, special cast Exaltair. Okay, it's kind of expensive for just a 6 attack Elestral, but if you're telling me that there's other ways, I don't know, maybe special cast from the underworld in your opponent's turn, so maybe a counter rune, then Exaltair seems a lot better. So we have to be on the lookout for that. I'm pretty sure we're going to get another way of reviving Exaltair from the underworld. We just have to wait. So in that sense, I'm really excited. Overall, I think that these cards are really strong, and they're a great tease for us in the community as to what to expect. I'm so excited for this set, and the fact that we got 2 double structure decks is also really insane. I mean, we're not going to talk about that in this video. We're going to leave that for another video. But man, these cards, if this is what we're getting as our box cards, I don't know what we're going to get for our 1-drops and 2-drops. I'm really excited. So having said that, I want to ask you, what's the most exciting card that was revealed today? Was it Hestia? Was it Hermes? Was it Exaltair? Majorsa, if you're an Ursa fan. Was it a carry-off for the incoming searchable or earthquake? Like, which card got you the most excited out of this reveal? Please write it down in the comment section. I'll make sure to comment and reply to every one of you that comments, because this is really exciting, and I just want to talk about this set as much as possible. So write down your theories, write down your favorite cards, and let's just look forward to the next reveal, which is going to be tomorrow. So alright guys, that will be all. Decent Shirt signing out.